Plus, another shooting in Alabama reinvigorates discussion on gun laws in the U.S. Senate.
And in sports, the Southern Ohio Copperheads look to get back to their winning ways. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Jensen Eck.
And I'm Jada Respris. Welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. The former fraternity brothers of a Bowling Green State University student who died in a hazing incident are facing sentencing. Sophomore Stone Foltz died of alcohol poisoning back in March 2021 after being forced to drink an entire bottle of liquor by Pi Kappa Alpha members during a hazing event. These former members, are all facing different sentences based on their involvement after almost 1 year. The largest sentence was 28 days in county jail, 2 years of probation, and 28 days of house arrest, with the smallest sentence also being 28 days of house arrest with 2 years of probation. West Virginia families with eligible children under 6 will be receiving federal funding for groceries. Families must live in a household getting Supplement Nutrition Assistant Program benefits and live in a county where one or more schools closed due to COVID-19. Families will receive just over $24 per child for each month of the last school year. Payments were made in 2 installments, the first half in July and the second in September. Benefits will be loaded onto an existing pandemic electronic benefits transfer cards.
West Virginia is allocating $10 million in federal COVID relief funding to boost the state's emergency medical services workforce. The Office of Governor Jim Justice says the state technical college system, EMS community partners, and lawmakers reviewed areas of need. The state will buy mobile ambulance simulators to allow educational programs in all regions. The community college systems have provided a total of $870,000 to 21 facilities to provide no-cost EMT training. Thousands of bags containing emergency medical equipment and supplies will also be distributed to EMS workers statewide.
Hi everyone, I'm weather forecaster Maria Manesi. Right now in Athens, it is 88 degrees and there are fair and clear skies out there. The heat index is 87 degrees, so it is feeling the same as it is outside, which lately we've been seeing a higher heat index than it actually is outside. So this is a lot different than lately. And there's also a humidity of 35 degrees. As we take a look at the local radar, we are seeing showers and thunderstorms with rain heading down towards Huntington and Charleston, but we are seeing clear skies in Athens, so the showers and thunderstorms aren't really affecting Athens as much, but it will bring the cooler temperatures for this weekend. And right now it is 88 degrees in Athens, like I mentioned earlier. We are seeing a lot of 88s around here. We have Dayton, Springfield, and Columbus with 88. Down in Charleston, we see 73 degrees though because of the rain and showers that are heading that way. And that's it for now.
The Ohio Department of Health says it's confirmed the state's first case of measles since 2019. The case involves a child from Franklin County who recently traveled to a county with confirmed measles cases. It's only the 3rd case of measles in the U.S. this year. The last measles outbreak in Ohio was in 2014 with 382 total cases. The Ohio Department of Health reminded state's residents about the importance of childhood vaccines as measles is extremely contagious and can spread through coughs and sneezing. If one person has measles, up to 90% of those who come into contact with that person and is not immune will also become infected. The Ohio Supreme Court may be appealing a case as the state waited too long to charge him. Ralph Borty was arrested in 2019 after abducting, raping, and leaving a 19-year-old girl for dead 26 years ago in 1993. The statute of limitations for rape and kidnapping has expired, but prosecutors say Borty can still be charged with attempted aggravated murder. Borty's attorney argues state law doesn't specifically define a limit for said charge, and therefore its statute of limitations has expired.
A man's life sentence is reversed in West Virginia's Supreme Court. Quentin Sheffield's case of first-degree murder without the possibility of parole was sent back Cabell County on Tuesday, where justices stated a fair trial did not take place. One juror talked to a witness in the beginning of circuit court deliberations, which caused them to come up with a replacement. The replacement juror they ended up choosing happened to be previously discharged from the case. This led to justices stating that precautions were not being taken in Sheffield's trial. The City of Athens is considering an ordinance aiming to help people facing eviction stay in their homes. Newswatch reporter Silver Barker has more.
United Athens County Tenants, or UACT, voiced their support for pay to stay at the recent City Council meeting. It gives renters an opportunity to make up for late rent and still keep their homes. Councilmember Ben Ziff introduced the bill.
So the state of Ohio is one of 5 states currently where a tenant can be evicted if they are 1 day late on rent. So this is just trying to close that gap.
So it's something that's used in the courtroom. If a landlord files for eviction, the tenant will have to go to court. If they have the funds, whether that's from a rental assistance program like HABCAP, or from a friend or family member, or they had more hours at work that week, and they tell the judge, I have the full amount of tender, then they would be allowed to use pay to stay as their defense, and therefore be able to stay in their home.
If passed, the city would be the first in Southeast Ohio to adopt pay to stay. Tenants who are granted pay to stay won't be completely off the hook.
That even if they're not evicted, that's still going to appear on their record. It can affect their credit score. There are just many, many disincentives.
The ordinance is up for its second reading at the next council meeting. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Silver Barker in Athens.
The next council meeting will be held on Tuesday, June 21st. Coming up, how the U.S. Senate is acting on gun laws following recent shootings. Plus, ways to get your kids off the screens in the summertime. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
That's crazy.
On Finding Your Roots, actor Sterling K. Brown.
These are people that I've never heard of.
Comedian Sashir Zameda.
People are like, what's your makeup? Who are your people?
And musician John Baptiste.
Oregon. I thought we were from the South.
Ancestry.
Wow, you found my family, dude.
Lost to slavery and Jim Crow.
That's a lot to process.
Hits home.
I'm gonna cry.
Finding Your Roots.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
My colleagues and I have been making documentaries about America for more than 40 years. Our next film is one of the most important we've ever worked on. It's called The U.S. and the Holocaust. Through eyewitness testimony from those who lived through it, co-directors Lynn Novick, Sarah Botstein, and I tell the story of our nation's response to one of the greatest tragedies in human history. The U.S. and the Holocaust is coming to PBS this fall. Thanks to viewers like you, we've been able to tell America's stories on this PBS station. Help us continue to tell these stories now and for future generations by including this station in your charitable plans.
Supporting this PBS station through a gift of securities is easy. To find out more, call the number on your screen or visit this website. Thank you.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, our cameras found treasures inside and out at an historic Newport mansion, Rosecliff.
I saw in the newspaper the day before that there was an Egyptian mummy in the auction, so I thought I need to get down there and buy that mummy.
Of course.
A little more than I thought it was going to be. That's exciting.
That's wonderful.
Don't miss Antiques Roadshow's visit to Rosecliff in Newport, Rhode Island.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
Two people are dead and a third wounded following a shooting at a church outside Birmingham, Alabama. This as the U.S. Senate struggles to agree on gun safety legislation. Chris Wynn has the latest on the investigation and what Congress hopes to accomplish before the July 4th recess.
Outside Birmingham, Alabama, a deadly shooting adds to the gun violence plaguing the country, this time in a house of worship.
Vestavia Hills is a close-knit, resilient, loving community.
Police say the shooting happened during a potluck at St. Stephen's Episcopal Church Thursday, leaving 3 elderly people dead. The 71-year-old suspect occasionally attended the church and is now in custody, according to police.
Another attendee at the event
subdued the suspect, and held him down until law enforcement arrived.
This follows recent deadly mass shootings at a California church, a Texas elementary school, and a New York supermarket. On Capitol Hill, Senate negotiators are scrambling to hammer out legislative text for a bipartisan gun deal.
We cannot go back home over the course of July 4th and tell people that once again we let politics get in the way of getting something done.
Key sticking issues include funding for state red flag laws and denying firearms to unmarried partners convicted of domestic violence.
We got to settle these issues, or else we're talking about jeopardizing our ability to deal with legislation next week.
Meanwhile, in Alabama,
there are public safety concerns that we have to take into account.
An urgent call from some as this community tries to heal.
I think it just goes to show that no community is immune from this kind of gun violence.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
The Food and Drug Administration officially approved emergency use for Moderna and Pfizer BioNTech vaccines for kids at least 6 months old today. This means the nation's youngest kids may finally be able to be vaccinated against the COVID-19 vaccine. The move still needs approval from Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The approval is predicted to happen on Saturday. It's expected to pass as CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky has already signed off on the recommendation.
The Biden administration is expected to announce an additional $1 billion in military aid to Ukraine, according to a USA official. The aid is expected to include shipments of Howitzer, ammunition, and coastal defense systems. It's expected the weapons and supplies can be quickly shipped from existing U.S. stockpiles. The package will include new contracts for long-term supplies for Ukraine. Russia has amassed a significant artillery advantage around 2 key cities in eastern Ukraine. Western intelligence and military officials believe the war is at a critical stage that could determine the long-term outcome of this conflict. President Joe Biden plans to lower inflation through signing a new law titled the Ocean Shipping Reform Act. Foreign-owned shipping companies will now struggle with price gouging on things such as furniture, appliances, and clothing. Lowered costs for American farmers, retailers, and consumers was the design for this bipartisan legislation. The president hopes this measure will at least bring down inflation on imported goods.
The Federal Reserve is raising interest rates by more than half a percentage point. The stakes for the U.S. economy and for American consumers is high. Cole Higgins has a closer look on how this could affect Americans.
Taking aggressive action to help tame historic inflation.
I do not expect moves of this size to be common.
For the first time since 1994, the Federal Reserve raising interest rates by a remarkable 0.75 percentage point. Chairman Jerome Powell making the announcement following the Fed's policy meeting Wednesday.
This continues our approach of expeditiously moving our policy rate up to more normal levels, and it will help ensure that longer-term inflation expectations remain well anchored at 2%.
The move comes after May's hotter-than-expected inflation report and Wall Street's growing call for tougher action from the Fed to keep prices under control.
My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship, especially on those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation.
But that strong response to help the economy has some economists worried. Former Fed Chair Ben Bernanke cautioning future financial conditions are hard to forecast.
I think a recession is possible. Economists are very bad at predicting recessions. But I think the Fed has a decent chance, a reasonable chance, of achieving what Jay Powell calls a softish landing, either no recession or a very mild recession to bring inflation down.
Financial experts say higher interest rates could be felt widely when it comes to consumer borrowing, from credit cards and mortgages to car loans. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Cole Higgins.
Former Fed Chair Ben Bernanke also says shortages of raw materials and labor is leading to those price hikes, leaving bare shelves from baby food formula to menstrual products. Tips on how to keep kids away from technology this summer. That story is still ahead.
And later we'll be taking a look at the weather for this upcoming weekend and going into next week. Find out when temperatures may drop when Newswatch returns.
My colleagues and I have been making documentaries about America for more than 40 years. Our next film is one of the most important we've ever worked on. It's called The U.S. and the Holocaust. Through eyewitness testimony from those who lived through it, co-directors Lynn Novick, Sarah Botstein, and I tell the story of our nation's response to one of the greatest tragedies in human history. The U.S. and the Holocaust is coming to PBS this fall.
Traffic. Deadly crashes. Is there a better way?
Self-driving cars will eliminate road accidents.
A mobility revolution.
We're venturing into science fiction.
Or are we moving too fast?
Right in front of my car, it doesn't see him.
It's just simply not ready.
The stakes are high. Look who's driving on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for. This is the opportunity to share my story.
To be here was a huge surprise. We want to fall in love with your recipes.
I am ready. I'm excited. I'm going to do it.
I'm so excited to be competing for one of my recipes to become a tradition for other people.
This is a dish that my dad taught me. It's the flavors of home.
Welcome to the Great American Recipe.
The Great American Recipe, a new cooking competition coming this June to PBS and the PBS app.
Welcome back. As we take a look in Athens, it is pretty clear skies right now, but as you can see up in Marietta and Barnesville, they are under a flood warning. So if you are in either of those areas, take precautions. But around areas with Portsmouth and Jackson, they're seeing pretty clear skies. Athens today, it was 90 degrees. It has stuck up in the 90s. It's still pretty hot outside with a temperature low of 56 degrees tonight. It has been mostly sunny and the hot temperatures are still sticking around. It is really hot outside still. As we take a look at our local radar, you can see rain, showers and thunderstorms are moving down this area into Charleston and Summersville, but up in Athens, it is still pretty clear skies, but it came from Independence and it's moved down, and it's kind of brought the cooler temperatures that we're going to see this weekend along with it. In Athens tonight is going to be an overnight low of 56 degrees and clear skies. If you do have plans tonight, definitely bring like a light jacket or a sweatshirt, but the skies will be clear and it'll be pretty pleasant outside for you. In Athens tomorrow, it'll be 76 degrees as the high. Yes, you heard that right, 76 degrees. It's finally cooling down a little bit compared to the higher temperatures that we've seen lately in the 90s, and there'll be a temperature low of 47 degrees. It will be sunny tomorrow, so if you do have plans outside, I definitely recommend getting outside, or if you don't, just take advantage of the nice weather while it lasts. And that is thanks to this high pressure, which is going to bring cooler temperatures and more pleasant skies to be outside in this weekend. And for the 7-day outlook, you will take a look for Saturday. As I said earlier, it will be 76 degrees and sunny. And on Sunday, it will be mostly sunny, 77 degrees, and a low of 54 degrees, excuse me. And on Monday, it'll be mostly cloudy, 83 degrees. Tuesday, it'll skyrocket back up to 94 degrees, so definitely taking advantage of the weather this weekend with the cooler temperatures. And then on Tuesday, it will be mostly sunny. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we will see those showers and thunderstorms potentially as well, and it'll be back into the mid to low 90s. So again, for Father's Day, or if you have any plans outside this weekend, I definitely recommend taking advantage of that weather and just enjoying time outside before the weather gets hot again and storms outside. And that's all I have for weather. Now back to news.
Kids' screen time numbers seem to go in the summer, but experts say there are ways to do a digital detox. Mandy Gather has advice on how to easily reduce screen time.
From TV to video games, kids are spending a lot of time in front of screens.
The newest studies are showing that the average child age 8 to 18 is spending 7.5 hours a day participating in screen time that is entertainment based.
Too much screen time can take away from physical activity. It can also disconnect kids from others. Wendy Palmer with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's Strong for Life program suggests doing a family-wide digital detox.
One of the first steps is to take an honest assessment of what are your family's screen time habits.
Once you figure out how much time parents and kids spend on screens, Palmer says set small, realistic goals and reduce screen time in increments. Try putting screens down for 10 extra minutes each day and increase it after that. Replace that time with family time.
Setting those limits is not to punish our children or to have a negative consequence, but it really is to protect them.
Palmer says to set up screen-free zones, remove devices during meal times and from the bedroom.
It can keep a child up all night, whether they're getting alerts on their phone, and just the light alone from the devices has been proven to decrease the quality of sleep for adults and for children.
The key there, she says, is for adults to follow the same rules they're setting for their children. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Palmer says to talk to your kids and explain why you're setting screen limits and to be consistent. She says it's important for kids to understand what to expect and that they're not being punished.
Coming up in sports, can the Copperheads stay above the 500 mark? That story ahead, and be sure to stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Hawaii, a realm of breathtaking beauty. But don't let the scenic calm fool you. Every day in these blue waters, battles unfold. Because this is shark paradise. No matter their size, Hawaii has what these predators need. And this island chain may become home to the biggest shark yet.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB. Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, our cameras found treasures inside and out at an historic Newport mansion, Rosecliff.
I saw in the newspaper the day before that there was an Egyptian mummy in the auction, so I thought I need to get down there and buy that mummy.
Of course. A little more than I thought it was going to be. That's exciting.
That's wonderful. Don't miss Antiques Roadshow's visit to Rosecliff in Newport, Rhode Island.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
Traffic. Deadly crashes. Is there a better way?
Self-driving cars will eliminate road accidents.
A mobility revolution.
We're venturing into science fiction.
Or are we moving too fast?
Right in front of my car, it doesn't see him. It's just simply not ready.
The stakes are high. Look who's driving on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
The 2022-23 season is set in stone for the men's golf team. Head coach Brennan Wittes announced 10 separate outings for the squad, stretching all the way from September to April. Most notably, the team will be heading back to the Elon Phoenix Invitational, where they finished 5th place last season. The team returns rising sophomore Sam Hogan and rising junior Jared DeVille, who competed in the competition last season. You can catch the boys kicking off their season in Muncie, Indiana on September 2nd and 3rd. The Southern Ohio Copperheads fell 12-2 last night against the Hamilton Joes in 7 innings. The contest was delayed at 7-1 due to a lightning delay, and a 5-run spike in the 6th innings from the Joes solidified the game. The Cheds were first on the board in the 2nd inning after a Mitch Kloss groundout batted runner Clayton Hodges in, giving the Cheds a 1-0 lead. The Cheds held the lead until the 4th inning, where the Joes finally found their bats and put the Cheds away. The 4-4 Copperheads were hoping to bounce back at Bob Wren tonight against the Licking County Settlers. First pitch is set for 7:05. The Cincinnati Reds return to the diamond tonight against the Milwaukee Brewers. The Reds took 2 of 3 games in Arizona against the Diamondbacks last series and will hope to continue to salvage what has been a disappointing season so far. On the flip side, the Brewers have had an excellent season, riding down the back of their star pitching and bullpen to a 35-30 record. The Brewers currently sit 2 games behind the St. Louis Cardinals in the top of the NL Central. The first pitch was just thrown, and the two sides remain tied at 0-0 for now. Turning the car around and heading north, the Cleveland Guardians kick off a tough series against the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight. The Guardians have had a stellar June, putting up an 11-3 record so far. Jose Ramirez's bat has been a big reason why, leading the league in RBI, sitting third in slugging percentage. The Dodgers will test the strength of this team, as they are by far the strongest opponent they'll face this month, with a 39-23 record. First pitch is scheduled for 10 p.m. tonight at Dodger Stadium. The international break is over, and the Columbus Crew are back after a month away from Lower.com Field. The 2-time MLS Cup champions were able to grab 3 points in Atlanta prior to the international break, and the Crew will take on the league's newest edition in Charlotte FC tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. And although it's been an underwhelming season so far, club president Tim Bezbatchenko confirmed just days ago that the Crew will be signing a new striker within the next few weeks. The Golden State Warriors are NBA champions once again. The San Francisco basketball team defeated the Boston Celtics last night 103-90 and taking the series in 6 games. Stephen Curry finished the night with 34 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists on his way to his first NBA Finals MVP award. This was the 6th time in 8 years that the Warriors have appeared in the NBA Finals, and the 4th time they've won the championship in that time span. Questions have been asked in the past regarding whether or not Curry lands in the top 10 among the greats, but most would agree that earning an NBA Finals award is a big step forward. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Steph Curry belongs in the top 10? Do you think he's just outside, or do you think he just needs some more to get there?
You know what, Max? I would say Steph Curry definitely does. Just seeing those half-court shots he makes, it's insane. I've never seen anyone make so many quite like it. And up with LeBron. I think they're pretty equivalent in what they're doing.
I have to agree with you, Jensen. How about you, Jada?
I think that, Stephen Curry has definitely put the work in, and he deserves to be top 10, most definitely.
Thanks, guys.
Scientists have discovered a group of polar bears living in a surprising place. A new study published yesterday in the journal Science found the group of bears living in southeast Greenland and are genetically distinct and are isolated from other polar bear populations. The study also found the bears' freshwater ice instead of sea ice to capture seals. The scientists believe the way bears have adapted to their environment could give insight into how the species could survive the climate change.
And in Athens tonight, we're taking a look at a 56 overnight low and clear skies. Again, if you have plans tonight, definitely take a light sweatshirt, but it will be fairly nice for you. And again, we are seeing a flood warning in Marietta and Barnesville, but in Athens, it is clear skies for Jackson, Portsmouth, and Athens. And our 7-day outlook, again, this weekend is going to be super nice, and then we're going to see thunderstorms later in the week, so definitely take advantage of the nice weather this weekend. And that's all we have.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Jensen Neck.
And with Maria Manessi and Max Brunke, I'm Jada Respers. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Support comes from Dean Heating and Cooling, keeping homes cool all summer with Tempstar. Dean Heating and Cooling provides HVAC service and installation in the